Oh, did you notice? So this movie is called The Story of Robin Hood and His Merry Men, but then it's just The Story of Robin Hood on Disney Plus. I'm just gonna call it the whole big long thing and whatever.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm Jessica. This is Brittany, and you are watching Pixie Dust Productions. Today we're going to be talking about a Disney film from 1952 called The Story of Robin Hood and His Merry Men.
This 1952 action-adventure film produced by Walt Disney Productions and RKO Radio Pictures was based on the legend of Robin Hood. This was made in Technicolor and it was filmed in Buckinghamshire, England, and it was the second of Disney's complete live-action films after Treasure Island. In this telling of the legend, King Richard leaves to fight in the Crusades and assigns his younger brother, Prince John, a greedy tyrant, in charge of an area called Nottingham. Prince John has taxed citizens to literal death with the help of the Sheriff of Nottingham, leading a militia of townspeople into compliance. He matched Robin's shot and, because of his nobility, passed the award along. He then went on to nobly stand up against forced recruitment and immediately faced execution. Robin, who is an equally talented archer, shot in retaliation and avenged his father instantly, making him a fugitive, exiled into the Sherwood Forest. He collects a band of married men to free the people of Nottingham from Prince John's seemingly insatiable greed. I hadn't seen this movie, but I was looking forward to it because I've seen it in like live theater and I love the movie Men in Tights. So I figured it would be good.
I had never seen this movie before either. I had pretty low expectations though. I think mostly because I wasn't as big of a fan of Treasure Island as I thought I would be. So I was like, another old Disney film. It's going to be boring. I was not excited, but I ended up loving it so much.
It was really well done. I really enjoyed the set design, like the castle that they made. It was so cool.
I was going to say that too. The costuming and the set design were amazing. I think anything with like cultural, like historical, like over the top costumes, it's just like
Yeah,
it makes it so much better somehow. I don't know.
it does. And speaking of costumes, I did notice that that Robin Hood dresses an awful lot like Peter Pan.
I noticed that too because as I was watching it, I was like, I kind of want to do a gender bent like Robin Hood cosplay, and I was like paying attention to his costume. I was like, he looks like Peter Pan.
He does look like Peter Pan.
Totally.
But go ahead.
Go ahead. This movie was hysterical and so entertaining. The scene where Robin and the friar are crossing the stream had me dying. And also the scene where they captured the sheriff, I thought was hilarious.
What wonders I've seen today: a friar singing a love song and a horse reciting scripture.
Yes.
Oh, it was amazingly funny. And then when they had the sheriff at their like forest dinner table and they're settling his debt, did you hear that one guy, like his grievance against the sheriff was that time my son was thrown into a well?
Yes, I heard that. I caught that.
He just casually tosses that out. What?
That scene was so funny though. The actress who played Maid Marian was so pretty. So
yeah,
pretty.
she was really beautiful.
And I thought the minstrel was delightful. I kept picturing all these characters as the animated ones from the animated Robin Hood, where they're all animals. And so at first, it was actually a little bit distracting because I was like, you're a bear, you're a rooster. But then, like, after a little while, I got past it and I was like, okay, this is this is different.
I actually don't think I've seen that one.
I haven't seen it in a really long time, but it is the more popular Disney Robin Hood. I had never even heard of this one prior to us watching it.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of this one either, but I've seen Men in Tights like an innumerable amount of times.
I've never seen that. I've never even heard of it.
It's Mel like Brooks and much different.
Is it a parody?
Yeah. It's like a comedy spoof thing.
This movie almost felt like a parody, like on
A
some
little
parts.
bit, a little bit,
I
yeah.
super enjoyed it though.
But while they were making it kind of like a spoofy parody, lighthearted situation, they also had incredible attention to detail. I noticed that when they were at the archery event and like the vendor was walking around selling ale, it wasn't carbonated at all. And ancient beer didn't have carbonation like it does today.
Why would you notice that?
I don't know, but I did. Okay,
All
okay.
right, the character that I chose to sort was Robin Hood himself. I think he is so quick-witted and sly and a little arrogant. So I think he's in Slytherin.
No, I actually sorted Prince John. He reminded me of characters like Scar and Loki. He's willing to step on people to achieve his ultimate goals. He wishes to be perceived positively. So he's got a sense of like vanity, but he's also deceitful. He's the worst kind of Slytherin.
So his character will like when you watch the animated one, will like you'll crack up when you see him. But there's like a scene where he's like sucking his thumb and crying for his mommy, and yeah, he's really the worst in that one. But
Okay.
yeah, I agree. He's in Slytherin. So the moral of the story.
The moral of the story: despite how unfair things might seem, despite how out of reach change might be, if you stick to what's right instead of what's easy, you'll make it to the other side better for it.
The New York Times called it an expert rendition of ancient legend that is as pretty as its technicolor hues and as lively as a sturdy Western. While critical reception to the film was not uniformly great, especially in the UK, it ended up being one of the highest grossing in Britain. It would go on to gross over 4.5 million in the US, making a hit on par with Treasure Island. A common belief is that Walt had a political message to send with the creation of this film, skewing toward anti-communism. Robin's story from the 1909 book on how he became an outlaw was changed in the movie to help send Walt's message. He also made Prince John and the sheriff the main antagonists to symbolize communist governments and the need to overthrow them, which really isn't public reception, but I felt like I wanted to share that. So
I like that detail. Thank you. I really enjoyed this movie. It was really entertaining. It made me laugh a lot of times. I give it 4 popcorn kernels, and I place it at number 6 above Pinocchio and below Alice in Wonderland.
Awesome. So I loved this movie. I was surprised that I loved this movie, and I also gave it 4 popcorn kernels. And it is in 7th place on my list. It's under Cinderella and above Fun and Fancy Free. So our list, it's pretty similar on our list.
Yeah,
so
definitely. All right. Well, thank you for joining us here today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and join us back here next month when we head back to animation for 1953's Peter Pan.
Yay!
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Stay fresh, cheese bags. I'm so excited for Peter Pan. And then like I was eating like a freaking pig, like scarfing it down.
We had the same problem with swimsuits earlier today.
We don't need to see that.
You realize how crazy that sounds?
I hate that lady.
She's so loud. Why does it have to be so loud?